Do you have you want to walk through some of those accomplishments and interesting things you've done in the last little bit? An example
Well,
might be participating in the Cannabis Cup and all of your work. That's the kind of stuff you've been doing.
well, that one, that was cool. The Cannabis Cup, because I remember when I got caught wind of it. Right, there was a big poster. Everything looked fancy. I was like, "Wow, this is cool," but I didn't. At the time, I wasn't as driven to be an event MC. It wasn't like my focus really. I was still trying to be like the artist. I know I could be an artist, but then this is 4 years ago we're talking. Like I was still like thinking I'm going to be the next fucking Jay-Z type shit. So, um, and I thought about it. I seen the flyer, and as the days got closer and closer, because they were booking their vendors, they were booking their sponsors, and I seen the poster the whole time. I kept ignoring it. Finally, I was like, you know what? I did about 15 shows as the host in the last 11 months or whatever it was, on prior to this event. So I was like, I got to hit these guys up and see if they have a spot for me. You know what I mean? Like maybe they don't have an indigenous MC for the show. So I was like, hey, took a shot in the dark and hit up the Indigenous Cannabis Cup. I gave them my resume, and at the time, I mean, it was impressive. Obviously, I was already into music over 15 years and all of that, but as a host, my resume was like local shows and like a couple of out of town gigs here and there, but it wasn't as extensive as it is now.
Right.
And so they agreed, and I was like, wow, what the fuck, like, and this is like a month before the show. So now they're like, oh, can you send us a rider? We need you for 4 days, and they start giving me a list of
Hold up.
everything
You
they
got
needed.
to like put out a rider?
Oh man, yeah, for sure.
What's that a Willie Scandal's rider? I want to
Well,
know.
the thing is that I've had it before. It's just like there was never opportunities never knocked enough for them to actually request it. You know what I mean? It's like more or less like, here, I'll give you my rider, and they just laugh at you.
I understand
So
that. I totally do. But what is on the Willie Scandal's rider? Does everyone know what a rider is? Why don't you tell them what that is?
well, it's your list of demands, man. The kind of things that you want presented to you for giving you them your services. I'm basic, man. I don't go crazy with nothing, man. Like it's a cannabis cup, so obviously you're looking at bigger prizes, right? Like I like to call them prizes because there's so much to offer at an event like that. It's not really requested, it's like simple things like obviously VIP packaging and access to things, hotels and travel expenses, and the regular
So,
get me to the show, take care of me
so
while I'm there, and let me get home.
for you, that is regular. For a lot of us, that is not regular. So go through more of the things. Like, let's talk more about that. What it is to be on the show, on the road. What you need to know as an artist, because there are a lot of people that have. I've never sent a writer. I've never even fucking googled what I should put in my writer before. That's never happened. So what? Like, talk a bit about that. Like, what should be there and what you care
Well, I
about.
mean, if you're traveling, I base it on 1 hour. If I'm 1 hour away from home, right, on a Friday, I mean on a weekday, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, if I'm going 1 hour away from home, my prices are way down. Obviously, I mean, because I can go there and back in the same night and still go to work the next morning. I don't have to take no days off. But if we're talking like 16 hours away, like some Halifax shit or something, and airfares are completely out of the picture, well then you should put your rate on top, and then your travel should be covered, and your hotels and your food should be all covered if you're going that far.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then like take a look at the sponsors on the flyer, see what kind of things, like, hey man, hit up the sponsors on the flyer, be like, hey, look, I'll rock your sweaters, I'll rock whatever the fuck on the stage. Then hey, maybe you'll get hit with some free gear. So there's a few things you can do that'll definitely help you on the road to get home.
Like that sponsors thing is very fascinating. I don't ever really think like that. Like, I mean, to be fair, I don't get involved with a whole bunch of shit that has sponsors, but that's gonna change for sure. Because I think like I'm gonna look for more opportunities like that. But let's say you're in that moment, like I never would have really thought to contact him and be like, "Yo, what can you do for me, my guy?" I can do for you,
Well, yeah,
you can
because
do for me.
well, like I see it a little bit different, right? Because like I'm not just going there to rap my 15-minute set. I'm gonna be on stage the whole fucking night. I'm introducing everything that's happening throughout the evening and shit. So that's a whole different ball game. So as an artist, I mean, if you're gonna travel 16 hours, you shouldn't be doing just a 15-minute set. You know, first and foremost, you know, it should be a good hour set where you're gonna make sure you get paid a decent amount of money to leave your area for at least 2-3 days. But I mean, shit, there's so much to go through as far as you know.